According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 725.121a on access to electrical connections for security and fire alarm systems is mandated at specific locations. These locations include firstly, at the point of entrance to buildings and structures. Secondly, at each floor level in buildings and structures with 2 or more floors. Thirdly, at each tenant space, but not more than 50 feet or 15.2 meters from the tenant space entrance. Based on these requirements, the alarm contact wiring connection, as described, does not meet the National Electrical Code requirement for accessibility if it is behind drywall and not accessible without removing the contact. This inaccessibility can create difficulties for maintenance, inspection, and testing. The primary concern revolves around the location of the splice. If the splice is behind drywall, it is considered inaccessible. The National Electrical Code prioritizes accessible connections to ensure safety and facilitate maintenance. To ensure compliance with the National Electrical Code, there are 2 primary recommended solutions. Firstly, extend the leads from the contacts so that the splice point is located at an accessible location. This ensures that the connection can be easily reached without having to damage any part of the structure or the alarm system itself. Secondly, install a junction box or similar device at an accessible location and make the splice in the box. This method not only provides a safe enclosure for the connection but also makes it readily available for inspection and maintenance. Ensuring that the connection is readily accessible for maintenance, inspection, and testing purposes is crucial for maintaining the integrity and reliability of the alarm system. When considering these solutions, it is also beneficial to keep in mind general wiring practices. It is always a good practice to use approved connectors for splices and connections, ensuring that they are properly rated for the voltage and current they will be carrying. Moreover, consider the environmental conditions. If the location is prone to moisture, use connectors and junction boxes that are suitable for wet or damp locations. When extending the leads, use wires that are of the same gauge or larger than the original leads to maintain the current carrying capacity of the circuit. In some cases, local building codes may have additional requirements beyond the National Electrical Code, so it is always wise to consult with local authorities or a qualified electrician to ensure full compliance. Properly documenting the location of all connections and splices is also a good practice. This documentation can be invaluable for future maintenance or troubleshooting. In conclusion, compliance with the National Electrical Code regarding the accessibility of alarm system wiring is essential for ensuring the safety and reliability of the system. By following the recommended solutions, such as extending the leads or using junction boxes at accessible locations, one can avoid potential code violations and ensure that the system can be easily maintained and inspected. Remember to always consult qualified professionals and local authorities to ensure full compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Consider the long-term implications of inaccessible connections. If the connection fails and is behind drywall, it will require significant effort to access and repair, potentially leading to higher costs and system downtime. Accessible connections allow for quicker and easier troubleshooting and repairs, reducing the overall cost of ownership. By making the connections accessible, you are also making it easier for future technicians to work on the system regardless of who installed it. When choosing a location for the junction box, consider factors such as ease of access, visibility, and protection from damage. A junction box that is easily seen and reached will be more convenient for maintenance and inspection. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there may be other standards or regulations that apply to alarm system installations, such as those from the National Fire Protection Association. Be sure to familiarize yourself with all applicable requirements to ensure compliance. If there are any doubts about the proper way to make the connections or ensure accessibility, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician or alarm system technician. They can provide expert guidance and ensure that the installation meets all applicable codes and standards. Consider using wire labels or tags to identify the purpose of each wire in the junction box. This can be helpful for future troubleshooting and maintenance. When making splices, ensure that the wires are properly stripped and twisted together before applying the connector. This will ensure a secure and reliable connection. After making the connections, inspect them carefully to ensure that there are no loose wires or exposed conductors. This will help prevent short circuits and other electrical problems. If the alarm system is connected to a central monitoring station, be sure to inform them of any changes to the wiring or connections. They may need to update the records or adjust their monitoring procedures. Regular testing and maintenance of the alarm system are essential for ensuring its proper operation. This includes checking the batteries, sensors, and connections. By following these best practices, you can ensure that your alarm system is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable codes and standards. Furthermore, consider the placement of the alarm contacts themselves. If the contacts are installed in a way that makes it difficult to access the wiring, it may be necessary to relocate them to a more accessible location. When selecting alarm contacts, choose models that are designed for easy installation and maintenance. Some contacts have features such as removable connectors or adjustable mounting brackets that can make the installation process easier. If the alarm system is being installed in a new home, it is important to coordinate with the other trades, such as the drywallers and painters, to ensure that the wiring is properly protected and accessible. It is also a good idea to take photos or videos of the wiring before the drywall is installed. This documentation can be helpful for future troubleshooting or repairs. When working with electrical wiring, always follow safe work practices, such as wearing appropriate personal protective equipment and energizing the circuit before making any connections. It is also important to use the proper tools for the job, such as wire strippers, crimpers, and multimeters. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to do the work. They have the knowledge, skills, and experience to ensure that the installation is done safely and correctly. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there may be other local ordinances or regulations that apply to alarm system installations. Be sure to check with your local building department to ensure that you are in compliance with all applicable requirements. Properly grounding the alarm system is essential for preventing electrical shock and ensuring its proper operation. Be sure to follow the manufacturer's instructions for grounding the system. When running the wiring for the alarm system, avoid running it in areas where it is likely to be damaged, such as near sharp edges or in high traffic areas. If it is necessary to run the wiring in these areas, protect it with conduit or other suitable protection. When making connections, use the proper wire size and type for the application. Using the wrong wire size or type can lead to overheating, short circuits, and other electrical problems. Be sure to use connectors that are rated for the wire size and type being used. Do not use wire nuts or other unapproved connectors for making permanent connections. When splicing wires, use a proper splicing technique such as a Western Union splice or a pigtail splice. Do not simply twist the wires together and tape them. After making the connections, test the alarm system to ensure that it is working properly. This includes testing the sensors, the control panel, and the communication with the central monitoring station. If you encounter any problems, troubleshoot them carefully and correct them before putting the system into service. Remember, the safety and security of your home or business depend on the proper installation and maintenance of the alarm system. Take the time to do the job right, and do not hesitate to seek professional help if you need it. When dealing with low voltage wiring, it is still important to follow safe work practices. Even though the voltage is low, it can still cause a shock or other injury. Always de-energize the circuit before making any connections or repairs. Use a multimeter to verify that the circuit is de-energized. When working with low voltage wiring, be careful not to damage the insulation on the wires. Damaged insulation can lead to short circuits and other electrical problems. Use wire strippers that are specifically designed for low voltage wiring. These strippers will remove the insulation without damaging the wire. When making connections, use connectors that are designed for low voltage wiring. These connectors will provide a secure and reliable connection. Do not use wire nuts or other unapproved connectors for making permanent connections. When splicing wires, Use a proper splicing technique, such as a Western Union splice or a pigtail splice. Do not simply twist the wires together and tape them. After making the connections, test the alarm system to ensure that it is working properly. This includes testing the sensors, the control panel, and the communication with the central monitoring station. If you encounter any problems, troubleshoot them carefully and correct them before putting the system into service. Remember, the safety and security of your home or business depend on the proper installation and maintenance of the alarm system. Take the time to do the job right, and do not hesitate to seek professional help if you need it. Be aware of potential sources of interference that could affect the operation of the alarm system. These sources include radio transmitters, microwave ovens, and other electronic devices. Keep the wiring for the alarm system away from these sources of interference. If you are using wireless sensors, be sure to position them so that they have a clear line of sight to the control panel. Obstructions can interfere with the wireless signal. Regularly test the alarm system to ensure that it is working properly. This includes testing the sensors, the control panel, and the communication with the central monitoring station. Keep a record of all tests and maintenance performed on the alarm system. This record can be helpful for troubleshooting problems and ensuring that the system is properly maintained. If you are planning to make any changes to the alarm system, such as adding new sensors or relocating the control panel, be sure to consult with a qualified alarm system technician. They can help you plan the changes and ensure that they are done properly. When working with electrical wiring, always follow safe work practices. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment such as safety glasses and gloves. De-energize the circuit before making any connections or repairs. Use the proper tools for the job. If you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Ensuring proper accessibility is a critical aspect of electrical installations, particularly for alarm systems. The National Electrical Code emphasizes this to facilitate maintenance, inspection, and repairs, ensuring the system's reliability and safety over time.